How you doing on this Tuesday, the 18th day of July? All right, it's 5 minutes after the hour at 6 o'clock. And of course, on the show this morning, we've got Paul Richards. You just heard him with our news brief. We'll have major news again at 7 with AV. We got Richard Raghubarathing, who will knock on the door shortly. We got Ruben in the mix. My name is Steve Khan. We'll keep you company until 9 o'clock this morning. Let's get straight into the WT. You see what's happening traffic-wise. Starting from Trin City towards Page, a little bit of volume, and then Val St. Barataria volume as well. And then getting in at Port-of-Speed, you got some volume. Nothing in the west. Maraval, Diego Martin, nothing there. Nothing on the south, nothing on the Solo, nothing on Uriah Butler Highway. All right. Quickly checking some temps. Yep, we've got 25 degrees with some light rain showers at Piarco International Airport. Crown Point and Tobago, there's some showers in the area. All right, and let me check to see if the Met Services has updated their weather for today. As of 4:11 yesterday afternoon, they said today is going to be partly cloudy intervals with showers will likely interrupt sunshine. There's also a medium 40 to 60% chance of thunderstorm activity favoring Trinidad. All right. And that's the weather forecast for Trinidad and Tobago. And let's check some temps now across our listenership. We're starting out in Toronto. Your partly cloudy and 18 degrees. Miami, mostly cloudy and 28. Orlando, 24. New York, partly cloudy and 23. Atlanta, 21, and clear. London, cloudy and 19. Tampa, 26. And Washington, D.C., you clear at 23. And let's see who sent us hellos via our mobile app and website at power102fm.com. First off the gate this morning, we've got Maria Marva. Good morning. Garcillian Valencia. Oliver Man Warren. DJ Ray out in Delaware. Miss Ingrid, good morning to you. Out in Tucson, scorching Arizona. Rena Bodu Jennings, good morning to you as well. Thank you so much for hitting us a message on our message board. Via YouTube, we've got Marcia Rock. Good morning to you. We've got Ray. Good morning to Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Stay cool. It's going to be a scorcher for you guys. Today, you guys are setting new records of heat. Yeah. Very hot in Florida. All right. So, Paul, good morning to you, my friend. What's happening?
Morning, Steve. Morning, everyone.
Morning. Morning, Carol Guevara, Ms. Maloney. Morning. Wagwan.
I'm glad I'm here.
You're glad? What does that mean? You're glad you're here?
I'm not in Europe because
it's a scorcher.
It's
hot, man.
That is a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
50 degrees, 46 degrees. We scream at 36 and 37 degrees. We can't survive at 36, 37 degrees. So you can imagine 40, 45, 50 degrees Celsius is like almost a boiling pan.
Yep. Las Vegas high will be 43 today.
We are going to have fatalities.
They already have.
Yeah. So
they have.
That is not right here.
Good morning to all those that work outdoors. Good morning to you. Don't know how you guys do it in some of that heat sometimes. I really don't.
Imagine when we get to 36 and 37 degrees, we are complaining and screaming, and you want to go outside, and you see blasting, and it's very difficult. Imagine 40 degrees. Imagine 45 degrees. Imagine 50 degrees. That is a lot.
I was watching the weather this morning, and it's just red straight across from California, coming straight across.
Yeah.
Towards New York.
California, 49 degrees. Midnight.
LA, good morning. We spoke to LA today. He said, gosh, but it's hot.
That ain't right here to deal with.
No. That's too much heat. That's way too much heat.
Yeah, that is fatalities. No two ways about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So we wish them all the best. That just the thought of 45 degrees is paralyzing.
It is indeed. Good morning to Helen Prescott. That is some messages coming through on YouTube. Good morning to you, Helen. Beefy Smith, Mo Gaines, good morning. Steve and Dr. Richards, good morning to you. Oh, Gloria Gray just peeped in. Good morning to you out in South Oropouche. Good morning, and special day to Andrew Sedeno. All right. Good morning to Andrew Sedeno and Gloria Gray. South Oropouche, that's where I go down there sometimes to Animals Alive. I don't know if you've ever been there, Paul. It's a non-kill animal shelter. So
What does that mean?
they don't put any animals to sleep.
Oh, so they take care of the animals until they die naturally.
Yeah. And we've been there a few times. Good morning to
What
Catherine.
kinds of animals do they have?
Well, they actually have horses, race horses that people have abandoned. They take them in. And they have a lot of volunteers. They need a lot of donations as well, too. They do indeed. So, Gloria Gray, you can donate to Animals Alive. So go look for Catherine till I sent you. Yeah. We have given.
That's a good NGO charity.
It is indeed. We've given. The last time we went there, we gave a donation of food and some funds. And so my backseat and trunk was absolutely filled because people donate. They come to the Pet Butler and donate. And they were down to their last 2 bags of food. We were very grateful when we pulled up. Of course, I didn't tell them I was coming. I surprised them.
So if you didn't deliver, how would they have fed the animals?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, and they're animal shelters are non-government funded, so they depend on donations.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Dwayne Roman.
Oh, 1 second. Wait.
Yeah, I hear something in your background. We have cricket on this weekend. Wendell, do we have cricket on this weekend at your Queen's Park Oval? Put stumps in the oval, they'll get rain. Yeah.
Well, I'm not the cricket aficionado, so
no,
I wouldn't know. Wendell would know.
Wendell is the cricket. He's a sucker for pain.
Well, he likes the sport, so
he likes the sport, but boy, I
don't. That cricket, you have to have real patience. I'm gonna put it that way. You have to have real patience. Patience and commitment.
Yeah. No kidding. Seriously. And he's
both.
They
have real commitment, and they have commitment. Because it isn't getting better anytime soon.
No, what's this video you sent here?
I sent a video, or in the news group.
Yeah.
That is a video of I'm trying to get it on to air later on. An inmate at the Eastern Correctional Facility talking about what he's describing as the atrocities being meted out to him by the authorities. And the fact that he could make a video and put it on social media is quite interesting. Let me just put it that way. But he has put it on social media, so it means he can.
I guess, yes.
And they are working at jammers and scammers and this and that.
Oh, they're playing soccer in there?
So we'll play a part of it later on this morning. Of course, local government campaigns are in full swing. A lot of commentary on the issue of the Prime Minister's suggestion or question yesterday of paying persons in the TT police service more, those who display a higher sense of integrity, which, I mean, I understand the rationale for it in some reason, but the base is that we don't expect everyone to hire, the underlying premise is that we don't expect everyone to have a high sense of integrity in the police service, so we're going to pay some people to have more integrity, or pay some people who are displaying more integrity. Let me put it the right way. And that is kind of disturbing to me. It means that we're expecting those who are not paid to have less integrity than those who are paid, which is very disturbing to accept.
Yeah.
That we can generally presume that the people who do not subject themselves to polygraph testing or any other mechanism to prove that they are of higher integrity have less integrity and are prone to corruption? Is that the premise?
Seems that way.
Is that acceptable? Let's just say we have 6,000 officers in the TT Police Service, right? And only 500 or so present themselves for this polygraph testing or whatever other mechanism that will be employed to identify this integrity in them, right?
Hmm.
Does it mean that we can safely assume that 5,500 have less integrity and we're comfortable with them being police officers and carrying out the work of police officers who can take away your and my liberty at the moment?
And a blink of an eye, they could change your life.
Is that how we're going? As opposed to setting up various sting operations and ensuring that the ones who are corrupt on a regular basis are removed, identified, and or removed.
Mm-hmm.
So to send a message that any sort of malfeasance, corruption, illegality, etc., will be identified and removed from the police service. The benchmark is submit yourself to polygraph testing, get paid more, and be part of an elite vetting unit.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it that the vetting unit, once established, will be used to get rid of officers who are corrupt? I don't know. Make it make sense.
Let's try.
Please. Can we make it make sense?
I'm trying here.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that we can make it make sense. You know?
Yeah. But we will
And what does it say about our police service in general? The commissioner has the power to remove any officer whom she or he feels is bringing the police service into disrepute. And as part of their ordinary duties, their everyday duties, police are required to gather evidence on criminals. Am I wrong?
No.
To use intelligence and other mechanisms, investigative powers, to gather evidence on criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't they gathering more evidence on the criminals that the Prime Minister, the head of the National Security Council, has said have permeated the police service? So that we can pass them through like any other criminal, the criminal justice system. Why? Could you tell me why? That the police seem incapable of gathering the level of evidence needed to bring even their colleagues who are engaged in criminal activity, who are in collusion with criminals outside the service, in the prison, in the general public, undermining the work of the police service,
Mm-hmm.
and damaging the country. So the police themselves, who are trained to gather evidence, who are trained to do investigations, who are trained to do sting operations, who are trained to do surveillance, who have a plethora of laws at their disposal, are incapable of gathering the necessary evidence to identify their colleagues who are corrupt and engaged in criminal activity with criminals. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Paul, you're on a roll there, boy.
No, but tell me if I'm willing to concede if I'm not making sense here.
I don't think, yeah,
If I'm not making sense, somebody tell me. Because I could be talking utter tata, you know, and I will concede. But for decades, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service seems incapable of doing that. Okay. And now we have to create another elite unit to bring these people to justice. All right, we'll see how it goes. So, and I don't know if it's going to work because it seems, and it's not that they haven't
Maybe that should be
identified some corrupt officers over the years. They have. Let's be fair in our discussion. You understand? They have identified when they say I'm talking utter tata. Well, you were there, you know, you had a Tony line. Right? He said it happens all over the world. I'm not living all over the world, Wendell. Stephen, you can log on if you want, you know, and counter me. I have sent the link to you. Don't stay in the background and send no message. I will stop answering you. You could log on, I'll put you in, and you could defend the approach, which you are clearly intending on doing. So the police service in New York and in the UK had corruption issues in the past, not so?
They have.
And other jurisdictions. And they had been widely successful years ago in cleaning out their police service. When do you get blocked, eh? Stop sending me stuff. He's still in bed.
Log on if you want, Wendell. Log on.
Yeah, I'll go block you. Stop sending stuff from me. I will get our block or two. They have been widely successful in weeding out corrupt police service. We had SORT, we had SAUTT, we had SORT.
Mm-hmm.
They were both disbanded. And I guess maybe he's saying that they should have been left to run and they would have done the job. Is that what he's saying? Anyway. So we will see how it goes. There are many who are saying that that move will be unconstitutional. The commissioner of police can set up any unit in the service that he or she wants.
Yeah.
That's within their remit. How successful it will be, we will see.
That's all. Only time will tell.
Wendell
Morgan says it, if your name man, log on.
Yeah, that ain't bad. And that's just like the sending the truck. Remember, he had to defend it. Who is it? Who is a defense batsman that we know? He did to defend, you know. So guys, he walk. So I get it, Wendell. Whether or not you're log on, you have to do your thing. Local government election in the air, you know. Make sure you play defense well. Fortunately, me have to defend nobody. So we will see how it goes. I see Martin George has weighed in. I'm trying to save the video without a lot of success because it's on a link. So let me see if it's saved now.
Yeah. Good morning, Ingrid Irons says it's good to see you all every dawn. Blessings for life. Thank you, Miss Ingrid Mogains. Gloria Gray, thank you.
Yeah. So we will see how it goes. I wait with bated breath. I see Dr. Moses says only the police commissioner can do it. Well, I think we know that, but I think the Prime Minister, this is my interpretation. She was making a suggestion. I think he meant that he was going to do it himself. He does not have the power to do it himself, but I'm sure he, like any other citizen, can make a suggestion to be fair.
Yeah.
I've been asked suggestion coming out of.
Yeah, so we will see how that goes.
You know, the sergeant in any police station would know who the rogue officers.
I don't know who will know. That's not my work to know. Them supposed to know. That's like what is supposed to be the criminals and the society. That is them work to know. It's not my work to know. Them supposed to know who the colleagues are. They're supposed to set up, give information to only a few and make it work. Me is supposed to know. Them supposed to be setting up sting operation in the service to get evidence and the ones who are corrupt, like they do with criminals outside. Because criminals inside, criminals outside, big goatee, small goatee, same bullet. No pun intended. Well, pun intended. You understand? I don't know that that police are not trained to gather evidence. Or is it that they don't trust, you gotta start off thinking you don't trust nobody, then pass everybody through the sieve of integrity, and hope that you could get a few uncorrupt ones. And let me tell you something, yeah? If you look at any documentary, polygraph testing is not the most reliable of mechanisms, eh? You could get 50 experts to support polygraph testing as accurate, reliable, and valid. And you could get 50 experts to say polygraph testing is not reliable and valid. I think there may have been issues in the past where there were attempts to use polygraph testing right through, and I think it was stopped because it was not on the books as mandatory. And what about if officers refuse? Is it that you automatically presume that they are lacking integrity and that goes on their record forever? And
he goes back to work as normal?
And impacts their ability to get promotion or be considered for promotion because they think they're thought of as less integritous. You understand? Or is it a voluntary situation where somebody will say, well, I want to be on this unit. Let me volunteer for polygraph testing or whatever other mechanism that is decided upon to decide on who is these people in integrity. You understand? Derek Parsons is saying, Mr. Richards, why are you so against a breath of fresh air by the TT Police to create an internal division? I'm not against it, sir. I'm not against it. I'm just asking how it will work. Okay? If it works, great. And yes, they have problems with polygraph, but 90% of it works. I don't send me the documentation and 90% of it works, sir. I ain't taking nobody's word for that. I see enough documentaries about challenges to polygraph testing and admissible in court, and defense attorneys ripping that apart. So if you have a document that tells us that polygraph testing 90% of it works, I'll be happy to share it with the audience. Mr. Parsons. Okay? What else is happening? We had a third monkeypox identification in the country. The person is a young adult male with a recent travel history. And the homes of several high-ranking officials in the THA were searched over the weekend in connection with the ongoing probe into the leaked voice recording of Chief Secretary Fali Augustin and an unidentified female.
Mm-hmm.
So head of the TT Police Service White Collar Crime Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police Wendell Lucas, ACP Wendell Lucas, has confirmed that several searches took place over the weekend in connection with the probe of the audio recording. My dear.
Yeah. Also this morning, Paul, with regards to Denise Plummer.
What?
Not doing well at all. Not doing well at all.
I don't know what that means, but
well,
it's that she's not. Well, we're not saying
the body is too weak to handle any more chemo.
And this report is coming from
A good friend of hers. He sent me this. Well, he sent me overnight and from somebody I know that I know knows him.
Well, I am always reluctant, Steve, to put people's private medical information in the public domain.
Yeah, well, it's not private because I saw another post on Facebook a little while ago.
Well, anyway, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know that Miss Plummer or her family have sanctioned people putting her private medical information in the public domain.
So our prayers and thoughts with you, Denise. Be strong.
Yeah, I wish her nothing but healing and recovery.
Yeah.
She's certainly a national icon.
Oh, she's
former Calypso monarch and former Calypso queen. So Denise, our prayers.
She is a sweetheart.
And I know there was a fundraiser for her some time ago.
Yes, there was a year ago or so.
Yeah.
Or even prior to that.
Former government minister Daryl Smith.
I saw you said that to the news. I was like, what?
Who was dismissed amid, when they look at message now, amid allegations of sexual harassment, never convicted, never charged, let me put it on the record, has been given another government appointment. He's among 5 commercial officers and commercial attaches appointed by the Ministry of Trade and Industry to represent the red, white, and black at our foreign embassies and consulates with responsibility to develop overseas markets and boost exports to key strategic trading partners. He'll be based in the US as a commercial officer. Well, I remember a particular video circulating related to Mr. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting development. Jobs for the boys.
Food.
What? I said something wrong.
No, you said I did wrong. Job for the
I said
boys.
something wrong. Isn't it a job and isn't he a male? A euphemism for man, boy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's happening there?
This country. Oh my gosh, this country.
Oh, Wendell said that.
Congratulations, Mr. Smith, on your new appointment. Congratulations. I hope you represent us well. God, there's so much I want to say, but I'll get into so much trouble.
Say it.
Remember, someone who is not charged and or convicted has to be given the presumption of innocence. And you have to keep that in mind, right? So you can't say anything that would impugn Mr. Smith's character or reputation. So we have to not say anything that would impugn Mr. Smith's character or reputation, despite the allegations and despite the controversies that may have surrounded Mr. Smith in his incarnation as, wasn't he a Minister of Sport?
Yeah.
Morning, Richard.
Yeah.
He was Minister of Sport, right?
Yeah, morning, guys. Morning, listeners.
Former Minister of Sport.
Who's that?
He was former Minister. Yeah.
Darren Smith.
He's going to be representing you, Richard Ragubasing,
Me for what?
as a commercial officer or commercial attaché in the US, responsible for developing overseas markets and boosting exports to key strategic training partners.
Oh, you got a new portfolio?
Get a post.
Okay. I was wondering about him the other day, where he was within the PNM hierarchy and structure.
Clearly, he's still in the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he hasn't suffered a lot. Well, he was quite dormant for a while, to be fair.
Yeah, well, he was out of it for a while. So
I think he was fired, or did they remove him with the impending election? I think he was removed.
I can't remember the exact details. That's something that Wendell would know.
Oh yeah, but he must have noticed. He will stay quiet with this.
No, Wendell wouldn't. He would say what it was.
But he's very active this morning, so I ain't hearing him yet.
I can't remember what exactly the circumstances.
I can't remember if he was removed before the election. I think he was actually just not put back up to run in Diego Martin, which I think is now the seat held by Simon de Nobrega, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't there a reshuffle? Wasn't there?
Yeah, well, reshuffle mean, and you don't get a post, it mean you're dismissed,
Yeah, I think there was.
When there's a reshuffle and you don't get back a portfolio, it kind of mean you're fired.
Yeah.
A reshuffle is the easier way to get rid of somebody you don't want without firing them alone.
I think it was during a reshuffle he was removed. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is in the back.
I can't remember, but and I don't want to say definitively.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I know he wasn't sport minister anymore. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Right? Paul and Steve, please answer the phone. Derek Parson want to come and talk. We don't have time for that, Mr. Parson. We open the phone lines to our question in the morning. But you'll have enough time to opine.
Darren Smith was fired in April 2018.
Okay, all right. So he was dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the issue is, in addition to the allegations that he had used taxpayers' money to pay off the person. Am I correct?
$150,000.
Yeah. To pay for some complaint or something. Yeah. That was the concern.
I just know there was a certain level of
NK.
There was a certain level of controversy. That's what I remember. And well, Steve is saying he was fired. I just remember it being a reshuffle, but as I say, I'm not sure.
Well, fire, reshuffle. 6 or 1.5 with the next. If you're fired and you're not given another portfolio and not reassigned, it means if you're sorry, you're part of a reshuffle and you're not given another portfolio, it means you've been dismissed.
Yeah, we kind of did a play on that, you know. It was called the Naughty Minister.
I know.
The Naughty Minister.
Or you could say somebody naughty and they're proven guilty or nothing.
But it wasn't exactly on the circumstances, but you know.
Oh, but it just happened to be around the same time.
We used, you know, the what was it? What would it be? The zeitgeist of the moment.
Okay, it just happened to coincide with controversial happenings in the country.
Yes.
Like Little Piggy.
And we called it. Well, Little Piggy was a little bit more connected in terms of that way. But yeah, all good stuff.
Congratulations to Mr. Smith. You know.
Yeah, congrats to him.
Good for you. If you hang around.
He will be based in the United States, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I urge your caution.
I fired Darrell Smith for interfering improperly in public service.
Yeah. But I don't know what the hell is going on. This is another topic, and this is my semi-rant. I don't know what the hell is going on in Wassa and Arima. Wassa, I just don't know what the hell is going on. Like that Guanapo plant, they need to get the biggest ever cocaine broom and just hit that Guanapo plant that services a lot of central Arima to get water, because something is going on with that plant. So it's causing havoc in central Arima. Wassa is not as communicative as they usually are, quite frankly. Usually they're quite communicative with the area. I just find there's a lot more silence with regard to it. Last thing I heard, there was some pump that was pumping the correct pressure or some crap like that, because every reason that Wassa gives me post 1995, as far as I'm concerned, is crap, because I am now fed up. I don't even want to hear excuses anymore. I am now at, let me say 2000. So I just find everything with Wassa right now, when I have to struggle and you have to order truck born and go through that whole semi-dini, it is annoying. And I remember when we spoke to Marvin Gonzalez and he was talking about the Arima area maybe about 2 years ago. This was maybe about 2 years ago. Oh, by the end of that year, the Arima area should be close to 24-hour supply. Well, how they do it? Pull down your eye? Well, yeah, right. If Wassa had anything to do with local government elections, I swear to God, you all will not win a seat in Central Arima, if that was really connected. It's not, but
you never know.
Ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is the point of ridiculous. This is virtually the city center of Arima that has to go through this nonsense. And I'm sure
is it intermittent or has it been ongoing?
I'm sure there's some wonderful technical reason why all of this is happening. Quite frankly, I do not care.
Yeah. You don't get water, you don't care. You're right.
I do not care. Solve it. And then, oh God, well, God forbid rain falls. And so, as Wendell and I said, what do you get? Turbidity. Turbidity. And turbidity somehow stops water. So anytime water falls a little too heavily in the Arima area, I don't know if this holds for the rest of the country, but certainly for Arima and Guanapo, turbidity, and you don't get water. Whatsa, if I am unrelenting this morning, is because I do not care. I am fed up. I'm fed up having to go through this nonsense. Fix it. 24-hour supply, what? When was that 24-hour supply, Marvin Gonzalez? You said that on this radio station, and I said, really? And he said, yes, well, don't hold me to it. Of course, they like to backtrack a little bit. Annoying.
End of rant?
End of rant.
Let's go to the newspapers. It's July 18th, Tuesday, July 18th. Let's start with the Express. More boots on the ground in communities. A winning start. Trinidad Tobago's men's under-19 cricketers opened their Cricket West Indies 3-day under-19 championship with a 5-wicket victory over Jamaica. So let's start with some good news. Right? Coming out of the meeting with the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, and Minister of Energy, I see the picture with the police leadership. More boots on the ground in communities. Darrell Smith to represent TNT in US and Canada. Kudos for early and the PM. Gary wants to woo COP voters. Now that is Congress of the People voters there, right? Government to extend TTRA deadline until November. So that's in the Express. And BioBlitz is back, right? Let's move now to the Newsday. So there's some medical procedure.
Oh, okay.
Right. Move to the Newsday now. Minister, Tobago hoteliers, guest house owners must pay WASA bills. That's Minister Marvin Gonzalez. Migrants need to know more about local education for their children. Third monkeypox case reported. Gonzalez concerned over Tobago Water Park. Government extends deadline for workers to move to Trinidad Tobago Revenue Authority. Foreign Affairs Minister in Belgium for EU CELAC Summit. Lee expects opposition to be in the House tomorrow, Wednesday. Man found dead in St. James. PNM, UNC still misleading the public on inheritance tax. Tourism Trinidad Limited will be at TIC. I think it starts on the 22nd. When the TIC starts, I'll confirm later on. Haynes, schools seek donations because ministry mismanages money allocations. And cops, no to vetted units, leave us out of politicking. Now we'll have Gideon Dixon later on this morning.
In the next hour.
Yeah, from the Police Social and Welfare Association to comment on that. Let's move now to the Guardian online for today. No, Guardian is giving us trouble. No, I am not a robot, right? Jeez. Whew. Guardian is at work. Homes of THA officials searched as voice note probe widens. Man assisting police in accident involving dancing woman. Third case of monkeypox recorded. West Indies names test squad for Trinidad visit. 3 held with protected animals. Man killed in St. James. School boards to challenge TSC's teachers recruitment policy in court. And those are trending stories in your Kamala rips up copy of amendments to procurement law. And George, this is Martin George, PM's money for vetted units, a recipe for disaster. So those are trending stories in your Express, your Guardian, and your Newsday for today, Tuesday, the 18th of July, 2023.
So I have an update.
Right, so let me give you the results of our poll from yesterday.
Before you do that, I have an update with regard to Darrell Smith. He served out his term as MP, but was removed as Minister of Sport.
Which I think is what I said earlier on. I think the only change he went as the MP when the election was looming, but he was removed as Minister of Sport.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I now have a question here, so Richard, think first.
All right. Now you can ask buddy if that unit will work or something like that, as we mentioned.
We asked something like that yesterday.
Yeah, well, let me give you the results of our poll from yesterday. Yesterday, we asked you, do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit who are paid more to get rid of corruption within the police service? That was our poll yesterday. I'll give you the results after I tell you. Are you ready to explore the cutting-edge world of computers and controls? Then mark your calendars for the TIC convention happening on July 20th. That's on Thursday to Saturday 22nd at the Center of Excellence in Macoya. Visit the Computer and Controls booth and witness the future of communication with PBX, voice over IP technology. Enhance your network security with firewalls. Discover the power of seamless connectivity with access points and take your business online with EasyCart. And wait, there's more. There'll be loads of exciting freebies that you won't want to miss. Join the Computers and Controls team for the TIC convention happening this Thursday, 20th to 22nd at the Center of Excellence, Computers and Controls, where you can unleash the power of technology and gain valuable insights that will shape your future. All right, that was from Computers and Controls. Good morning to the folks out at Computer and Controls. Again, the results of our poll yesterday. Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit who are paid more to get rid of corruption within the police service? Well, the results are in. 52, it was quite close. 52% said yes. 52.
So I have two potential polls. One is, do you agree with former Minister of Sport Darrell Smith being appointed as a commercial attaché in the Ministry of Trade, given the controversies surrounding his dismissal as Minister of Sport, or his removal as Minister of Sport, if you want to put it that way more mildly? Or do you think anything will come out of the widened probe of the voice notes in Tobago? You'll choose.
Darrell Smith.
Yeah, the first one. Because it was discussed a little bit more.
Do you agree with Darrell Smith's appointment as a commercial attaché in the Ministry of Trade to represent TNT in the US and Canada? Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, that's our poll this morning. Do you agree with Darrell Smith's appointment in the Ministry of Trade to represent TNT as a commercial attaché in the US and Canada?
Yep, that's our poll this morning. 222 Talk, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. And of course, people on the web and the app, you can send your votes via the messaging portals there. You know what to do. Come on. And 1-868-222-TALK for those of you outside of North America. 1-868-222-TALK, 222-8255. Our poll this morning, do you agree with the appointment of Darrell Smith as a commercial attaché in the United States for Trinidad and Tobago? That's our poll this morning. What says you? Do you agree with it? Yes or no? What's your opinion?
All right. So send us a message via YouTube and our message board on our mobile app and website at power102fm.com. Or you can give us a call at 222-8255 or toll-free North Americans 866-525-1099. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen, and a special good morning to Dr. Richards this morning. My answer is no.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. KM says no. Thank you, KM. Cheryl Henry, good morning to you. DS Lip Celeste, good morning, Mrs. R. All right. Eddie, good morning. No.
I was out of words, so I was correcting it. Do you agree with former Sport Minister Darrell Smith's appointment as a commercial officer in the Ministry of Trade to represent TNT in the United States and Canada?
Yep. Slick Money Grip says, good morning, gentlemen. Hell no. With your face orange, frowning face. Okay. Ms. Maloney, morning, Dudu, says no. Alistair Hart says, good morning, guys. No. Thank you, Alistair. All right, so 222-8255, toll free 866-525-1099. Of course,
reading
on
your news.
YouTube and our message board. What's that, Paul?
I'm reading your news.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
And well, then, okay, I need to do this then.
So that's our poll this morning. Do you agree with former Sports Minister Darrell Smith's appointment as a commercial officer in the Ministry of Trade to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the United States and Canada? That's our poll this morning. What says you? Do you agree with that appointment? Yes or no? You can have an opinion one way or the other. What says you? 222-TALK, 222-8255. North Americans, toll free at 866-525-1099. People on the web and the app, you can just put your vote in the messaging portal there and we'll log it. And of
When
course,
they could vote, you know.
what's that?
When they could vote.
And people in other parts of the planet 1-868-222-TALK
You wouldn't know.
222-55 if you wish to call.
We
All right,
wouldn't know
so
if
I'll
they vote.
hold.
When they could vote.
Why you harassing my friend this morning?
No, just, being democratic.
Morning.
Morning, Paul.
St. Mary's Maruga. No,
Thank you, St. Mary's Maruga. How you doing?
I'm good for now.
How's the weather?
It's had a little rain just now, but it's cool up right now. The sun coming out.
All right, wonderful. You have a great, safe day, all right?
Okay, same to you.
Thank you, buddy. All the best
No
to you.
problem.
All right. 222-8255. Toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Mogast, absolutely not.
Yes,
Mr.
for sure.
Karapo. Mr.
People
Karapo
know.
says no
Be
to
quiet for a
vote.
while. You'll get through.
Wayne out in Simcoe, Ontario, Canada says no. Thank you, Wayne. All the best to you.
Were we ever given a reason why he was removed as sport minister by the prime minister?
Let me check.
I don't think so. I don't think we were given a specific reason.
Okay.
On April
Asking
10th,
for- asking for
2018, the Prime Minister advised His Excellency Paul May Weeks under the Constitution to revoke the appointment of Mr. Barry Smith.
And he was doing well, because he was, I think, the chairman of the
Yeah, he was
Diego
doing
Martin
very
Regional
good.
Corporation, the then chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, and then put up to run in that, is it Diego Martin Central seat? I think so. I could be corrected. And then when the government won the election, he was appointed Minister of Sport because he had a strong sporting background in secondary school and I think some league. I think he may have played football or cricket or something. So he was doing quite well. And then it came. But he was removed. We were never given an official reason why he was removed. As Richard said, it may have been a cabinet reshuffle. But he wasn't reappointed to any ministerial post. And then when the second election came around, he was not used as a candidate. I think Simon de Nobrega may have been the person who replaced him and subsequently won that seat for the PNM.
Yeah, he was a rising star, though. You are
I
right.
think he was doing well. He was a rising star.
He's doing very
He was
well.
a rising star in the party, so it was. I suppose it was a little sad that now he fell from grace.
Well,
Well,
it depends on what you take. And I don't know if it was sad for the person who made the allegations.
well, that's not why he was removed, huh?
Why was he
According-
removed?
But according to what Ruben said here, Ruben sent a post saying, well, I suppose he would have investigated it, saying that Dr.
Oh,
Robbie
yes,
said-
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, so it wasn't because of that
Yeah.
that he was
He didn't
removed.
follow proper procedure. Ruben, you're right. Yeah. Google and Ruben.
Prime
He just
Minister,
made the proper process of public service,
Yeah.
resulting in a financial cost to taxpayers. Yes, I remember that nuance. It wasn't because of the allegations directly.
very improperly in public service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when all of that was going on, of course, there was a lot of tea talk. Oh, how we missed the tea talk moments in this.
Yeah, boy.
And there is
Yeah.
nothing like being live and present and getting all of the tea talk. But
And as I said before, he was never arrested or charged with anything.
no, he was
You understand?
not. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, there's nothing on the man's record in that regard. There are some really strong allegations.
DJ Ray says no.
Was
So,
grade one, grade
Paul,
one.
do you agree with former Sports Minister Daryl Smith's appointment as a commercial officer in the Ministry of Trade to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the United States and Canada? That's our poll this morning. 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans 866-525-1099, people on the web and the app. You can give us your vote on those platforms. If you're outside of North America, in other parts of the planet, you have to ring 1-868-222-TALK 222-8255.
Yeah, Booty Culture. We did say why he was removed.
He will be responsible to develop overseas markets and boost exports to key strategic trading partners.
That's sounds well. It's an important portfolio.
Of course, a trader,
As we
a tax trader, commercial officer.
As we seek
It
to
means-
diversify more and more.
Yeah, it means that you are interfacing with key officials and private sector entities in North America and Canada to expand our trade options and our trade potential in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, small positions, a very key position. He is one of 5 appointed, you know, one in Canada, one for Canada, Adana Taylor for United Kingdom, Vincent Lochan for Panama, Adana Taylor for UK and responsibility for Europe, Melissa Anno Taylor and Janice Schoon, Guyana and Jamaica respectively. So, I mean, Guyana is growing quickly, Jamaica is doing well. So, I mean, these are key appointments in terms of the Ministry of Trade and Industry expanding Trinidad and Tobago's export potential and to develop export overseas markets. So it's not a small you're on your right, boy, but
we have a call. Good morning.
Good morning, Brandy. No, morals and values should matter in any appointment.
Thank you. Sexy
It's a curious
Sanford
timing.
also says no.
It's a curious timing given the local government election and this potentially being used on the platform. But I guess the appointments had to be made. Okay, you know,
Richard, you got Sexy San Fernando saying no.
Who?
Is he
Say that again?
frozen? Oh, Sexy San Fernando said no.
Oh, okay.
Raj Kumar Singh said yes. Chandra Gupta, Raj Kumar Singh, said yes. Miss Bonaire West says no.
Do you agree with former Sport Minister Daryl Smith's appointment as a commercial officer or commercial attaché in the Ministry of Trade to represent TNT in the US and Canada? Yes or no? If I stay quiet, I can't get into trouble.
Yes, sometimes it's good to keep quiet.
Just to shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. Because
Sometimes it's good to keep quiet.
if I say what I want to say, I'll get in real trouble. Real trouble. You understand?
If you're northbound and Uriah Butler Highway, there is a small bunk accident. North one, I said, by Chase Village. All right, so that should be cleared up in a minute.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
You have 2 minutes again to vote. Do you agree with former Sports Minister? Do you agree with former Sports Minister Daryl Smith's appointment as a commercial officer in the Ministry of Trade to represent TNT, United States and Canada? Yes or no?
Somebody
Ish
back
out in Malik says no. Thank you, Ish. Hope all is well.
Somebody say, oh God, give the boy a chance now.
No, nobody saying that at all.
Yes, it's
Rock him
suffering.
this morning. Is it no? Hell no.
If you move him out of the country, it could be all right.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I really can't answer that yes or no, you know. Bye.
You want to answer it though?
So why you
Maybe? Because but that may be option. Or is it that she had more to say?
Trini in Boston. Good morning to you. I hope your air quality is better today than yesterday, Trini in Boston.
And the heat. 44 and 46 degrees. That is like
crazy.
That is crazy. We scream and bawl for 36 and 37 degrees.
Yep.
You know it's 45 degrees Celsius? Oh my God. My prayers are with you. Please stay indoors and be hydrated.
Yeah.
Because that is
Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Reno, dear.
Going once, twice. Good morning, caller.
And in Europe too, California, parts of the US and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Spain.
Florida.
And China.
And China.
And China. And Europe. And Cynthia Ramsroop says no.
Climate change is a hoax? Okay.
Yeah, sure, it's a big hoax. Marcus G also says no. Morning, Marcus. All right.
News is next.
This caller is calling back again. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning,
who
pal.
Who without sin cast the first stone? My vote is yes, indeed.
All right, we're calling us from
London, England.
London, England.
Hey,
Did you see Paul last week?
Sorry?
Did you see Paul Richards, Dr. Paul Richards last week walking around?
Sorry, I'm visually impaired.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You had great weather. Thank you.
I saw him yesterday. He lost some weight. All that walking. But thank you so much, buddy. All right. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news. Read by Paul Richards.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Tuesday, 18th July, 2023. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. First, the headlines. Trinidad and Tobago records its third case of monkeypox. Police searched the homes of several high-ranking officials in the Tobago House of Assembly as the probe into a controversial voice recording widens. Former Minister Darrell Smith, who was dismissed amid allegations of sexual harassment, has been given another government appointment. And the deal allowing Ukraine to safely export grain via the Black Sea has officially expired after Russia pulled out of the crucial agreement. We have details coming up next. It's 7 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. Trinidad and Tobago has recorded its third case of the monkeypox virus. The health ministry says it was confirmed via laboratory testing on Monday. The patient is a young adult male with a recent travel history. The relevant county medical officer of health is currently investigating and has initiated the public health response, which includes home isolation and contact tracing for the patient. The ministry added it will continue to provide public with updates as necessary. For more information on the monkeypox virus can be found on the Ministry of Health's website, www.health.gov.tt/monkeypox. Police have searched the homes of several high-ranking officials in the Tobago House of Assembly as the probe into a controversial voice recording widens. A report in today's Guardian media claims at least one retired THA chief administrator was among those whose homes were searched by police over the weekend in connection with the probe into the leaked voice recording involving Chief Secretary Farley Augustine and an unidentified female. In the voice recording, two persons are heard plotting to utilize THA monies to fund a propaganda campaign on behalf of the New Tobago People's Party, led by Augustine. Head of the TNT Police Service White Collar Crime Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Wendell Lucas confirmed several searches took place over the weekend in connection with the probe into the audio recording. Former Government Minister Darrell Smith, who was dismissed amid allegations of sexual harassment, has been given another government appointment. Smith is among 5 commercial officers and commercial attachés appointed by the Ministry of Trade and Industry to represent Trinidad and Tobago at our foreign embassies and consulates. Their main responsibilities will be to develop overseas markets and boost exports to key strategic trading partners. Smith will be based in the U.S. as a commercial officer with responsibility also for Canada. The other commercial officers include Vincent Ramlotion, who will be based in Panama, Adana Taylor in the United Kingdom with responsibility for Europe, Melissa Arnaud for Guyana, and Janice Kuhn for Jamaica as commercial attachés. All politicians are being urged to unite and put aside their differences for the good of the nation, its development and progress. The advice coming from former government minister in the People's Partnership Administration, Vasant Bharath. Speaking yesterday during the afternoon Power Drive show, Mr. Bharath, who was the Trade, Industry and Investment Minister in the coalition government, said the time has come for a more civilized approach in the way politicians conduct the country's affairs, adding, this approach can help inspire a positive turnaround, especially among young people.
One of the things I miss in the politics today is the ability for parliamentarians on opposing sides to have a level of humility and that this is, yes, people say politics is war, but at the end of the day, we live in a very small country, and all of us must have at heart the personality of the country, and that we must live together, and that we could be civilized with each other. We don't have to be all friends.
Mr. Barth warned failure to adopt a mature way in how politicians relate to each other can have serious consequences moving forward.
What we're seeing in schools and the behavior of children in schools is an absolute manifestation of how they feel almost entitled to behave because our leaders behave in a certain manner. And even though it may not be a conscious way of saying, I'm going to behave like that, ultimately, subconsciously, it sinks into the psyche of our children. And I think that's one of our biggest problems in the country that's leading to all kinds of issues.
International news now. The deal allowing Russia to safely export grain via the Black Sea has officially expired after Russia pulled out of the crucial agreement. Moscow notified the United Nations, Turkey, and Ukraine on Monday it would not renew the deal, accusing the West of not keeping its side of the bargain. The decision has been condemned by world leaders who say it will affect some of the planet's poorest people. A heat wave is continuing across southern Europe, with temperatures in central Mediterranean expected to peak today. The Italian island of Sardinia is expected to see a high of 46 degrees Celsius today, with warnings that extreme heat could continue for another 10 days in some parts of Italy. Spain has also faced consecutive heat waves, with temperatures reaching 44 degrees Celsius in the south of the country yesterday. Meanwhile, across in the U.S. at midnight last night, the temperature at a weather station in Death Valley, California, registered 49 degrees Celsius. The World Meteorological Society says extreme weather patterns highlight the need for more climate action. We end our 7 a.m. newscast with news of the weather back home for the period today until midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, partly cloudy and cloudy intervals with showers likely to interrupt sunshine. There's a medium 40 to 60% chance of thunderstorm activity favoring Trinidad. Street and/or flash flooding. Gusty winds are possible in the event of heavy downpours and in the areas of thunderstorms. So please be careful as you go about your daily business. To end our 7 a.m. newscast, here are the headlines once again. TNT records still case of monkeypox. Police search the homes of several high-ranking officials of the THA as the probe into a controversial voice recording widens. Former Government Minister Darrell Smith appointment as a commercial attaché, and the deal allowing Ukraine to safely export grain back via the Black Sea has officially expired after Russia pulled out of the crucial agreement. That is news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way again at 12 noon. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for our major news. Of course, we have a news brief coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. All right. 27 degrees on both islands. Let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Starting out San Fernando, I got nothing to tell you about. A little build-up by Claxton Bay on the main road. Rivulet Road is heavy. Slow going from Freeport towards Sugar Guanas. Don't forget that by Chase Village, there is a small accident northbound. A minor accident. From Trinity City towards UV, you've got some traffic. Eastern Main Road is not too bad. Volume from the interchange to Barataria and then heavier heading in Port of Spain. Nothing out of the west. All right. So there you go. All right. So let's get the results of our morning poll. I'm not hearing you, Paul.
The person who was taking the notes is not back yet.
Okay. All right.
So coming up at 7:30, we'll be talking to, is it Inspector Gideon Dixon? Is that his rank?
Yeah, at 7:30.
All right, we can take a couple calls while Richard readies himself. 222-TALK, 222-8255, 612-8255, and toll free for North Americans if you're based in North America, 866-525-1099. Our phone lines are open. You can answer the question or comment on any of the topics we will discuss earlier on this morning, or any other topic you may want to raise relevant to our lives in Trinidad and Tobago. And be careful as you go out there. I hope there are no more monkeypox cases discovered.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is that the people, from my memory, the three who have been identified with monkeypox have all had recent travel histories, which means they picked it up outside. Hopefully they were isolated in time to not spread it in the population, domestic population. So.
Let me just quickly give the poll results, though.
Oh, he's back.
Yep.
We had 18 people voting on the poll this morning. And of course, the poll was, do you agree with former Sports Minister Darrell Smith's appointment as a commercial officer in the Ministry of Trade to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the United States and Canada? 18 people voted. 16 of you said no, you did not agree with the appointment. 2 of you said yes, you did. Of course, you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day through our programming, and we'll give you the final results tomorrow morning, which will be Wednesday and midweek, believe it or not.
All right.
So go ahead.
All right. We have some calls. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Good. How you doing? We're not hearing you at all. I'm vaguely hearing you.
It sounds like he's on hands-free.
I was trying to get to another program last week, but I didn't get to
All right. Are you on a hands-free device?
Well,
No, I'm hearing you.
right. No, yeah, man. Right. The guy who got the job, Darrell Smith, there was a real issue in our situation and thing. And well, you know, that guy called from England and he answered the question in the most appropriate manner. Who without spinning cast the first tune? Yeah, sir. I'm glad the man got a job. Yeah, sir. Like some people, what the man does suffer because of an incident for the rest of his life. And something wrong with that kind of thinking. No, the Prime Minister make a statement about paying money, incentives to officers, and I think is the ASP, Dixon, what they were saying, integrity don't have a price to pay, like money. You get a job, you do your job. And I keep hearing people saying that for the longest while, pay police more money and they will do the work better. I don't understand that kind of thinking. What money has to do with you doing your job better? You get a job to do the job in the correct manner as to bring dignity to yourself. So I have a problem when the Prime Minister talk about that. You understand? That's all I have to say now.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When I listened to the Prime Minister about these elite units and what the functions are going to be, and he ended the statement by saying that there are criminals sitting in the parliament also. I am beginning to believe, because, you know, Trinidad has to be a difficult place to govern. The main issue in the country is crime. And my belief is whatever measures the government take to curb the crime situation has to be supported. But my God, I listened to Senator Paul this morning. I mean, I had to turn up. Because I was cringing and I went to listen to Rhoda Barrett, who told us it is not the first time there are elite units within the police service. God bless you, gentlemen. Have a great day. But
have a wonderful day.
Senator Paul this morning. Have a good one.
Thank you, New York. All right, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's our numbers directly in studio. Of course, our guest will join us shortly.
Yeah, so we're still taking your calls at this point as we head towards we zoom in towards 7:30. And of course, we will be speaking to Gideon Dixon, the president of the Police Welfare Association, to get their take on the union, but to get his take, and I assume the Welfare Association's take on the new unit. But we're still taking your calls and your messages at this point while we wait for Mr. Dixon to eventually come online. In a couple of minutes, he'll be on. So 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. We're taking your calls.
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I want to say in part I support the guy who spoke previously about what money has to do with it. Well, firstly, you have the issue of, for some persons, whether you pay them more, at the end of the day, it boils down to their morals, because they will still be enough. We never have enough money. But the reason why those officers in the proposed vetting units to be formed have to be paid higher salaries is because in our current climate, that is going to be a high-risk job, you know. You're talking about looking to identify rogue officers, you know. So it's going to be a high-risk job, and high-risk jobs supposed to be paid more to that effect. But generally speaking, for some persons, no matter how much you pay them monthly, it will never be enough. But it boils down to one's morals and values and upbringing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, caller. Good morning.
Well, money is a great motivator too, eh?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Right. So I just heard the caller say that whatever initiative the government takes to fight crime, it must be supported. And I quite agree with that statement. So if the government is putting some initiative forward to fight crime, we should all support it. And it's the same with some years ago when another government took an initiative to call a state of emergency. It was condemned. So why was it condemned now? And I'm sure the same caller would have condemned it too. But now he is saying that it must be supported. Why wasn't it being supported at that time? Because I was in agreement, whatever it is, whatever it is to fight crime, we all must support it. And I agree with that. But it mustn't be only for when one political party in power to support it, and when another party is in power, not to support it. That's just my take on it. Thank you all.
Have a good day. All the best here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Are we trying to pattern UNC that everybody have something over their head? People don't change. Isn't there anybody else in the country that could have gotten that portfolio? Why are we going there? Are you all rewarding people for bad behavior? Let me know.
222-8255, North Americans, toll-free number, 866-525-1099. Number is directly into our studio. Give us a call. Yeah. All right.
I'm sure that the cabinet would have known that that announcement of the appointment of Doris Smith would have been controversial. Don't you think, Richard?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I just find, not that meeting would have made a difference, but in the political environment leading up to the local government election, I'm surprised that it was announced now.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And I don't know how controversial it will become. I don't know how much it's going to be amplified on the political platforms. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's a toss-up. I'm not sure how they looked at it.
Well, look at our poll this morning.
Because he's never been accused of anything, specifically in the sense of from the political side of it. That was not why he was removed. He was removed because they said he didn't follow proper process in terms of taxpayers' funds or something like that. A version of that.
Yeah. But which is also
The allegations remained in that
which was
sphere of
serious enough.
allegations.
Which was serious enough. The inability to follow procedure to have him removed.
Yes. Yes.
So that is not to be taken lightly either.
No.
You understand? So let's forget the allegations of the other thing. This particular, as announced by the Prime Minister, was serious enough to say, well, you can't sit as a minister anymore.
Yep.
So,
Good morning, caller.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. There is big guy here.
Big guy.
Respect to Mr. Smith. This is a gentleman who was fired by the Prime Minister because he had questions to answer. Or the same Prime Minister has taken him and sent him to investigate Trinidad and Tobago. I think it's America and Canada. How is this possible? The reason is that the Prime Minister is showing the country does not care about anybody. He can do whatever he wants and to hell with everybody else. That's what he's basically showing. It's based on disregard for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's my take on it, because he's trying to do that. It's disgusting, very disgusting. But as he's the boss. He does what he wants in Trinidad and Tobago, and nobody could say anything about it. That's my take. Have a nice weekend.
All right, big guy out in New York. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning, Steve.
Morning.
My name's Paul and Richard.
Good morning, my dear. How are you this
Good
morning?
morning.
I'm okay. But the thing with Darrell Smith. Now, again, right? We said he has not been charged with anything. We just have we are just talking that allegation stuff, right? Now,
well, there are allegations which were not the reasons, or it was not the reason he was removed. Let's delineate.
Right.
There
That's
was a
allegation, and we saw some pictures and stuff. But the thing is,
but keep in mind that is not why he was removed.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm coming with. He didn't follow the right procedure. Now, Richard said just now that you're not sure if the opposition will use it on a political platform. Well, of course, they had no moral authority because there were countless similar allegations of some of their members, and including those who are in the Senate, one in particular, who is in the Senate now, Tupul, right? So they weren't charged as well. And one of them is in the Senate, and other people have been, given a position as an MP, right? So for the opposition to come and say, in case they want to talk about that on their platform, to me, that they don't have no moral authority, because all of them are the same thing. And for me, I don't think that is a problem, because if I as a person have not been accused of anything, have not been charged, and so on, so I must just languish, don't get employment, don't get this, don't get that. I don't agree. I don't have a problem with him getting a position, because it's only in the public's eye that something was done or something was wrong. So nothing was done about that. He's a free person. So I don't see a problem with him getting that position. Okay, then. Thanks.
All righty. Thank you. Lots of calls. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
With respect to the previous caller, first to begin, two wrongs don't make a right. Not because one party did it means that it's okay for the other party to do it. In politics, perception is everything. With respect to that former minister, people are forgetting that you spoke about allegedly not following proper procedures, but people forgetting that with respect to, he had a trip to Tobago that was overpriced, and maybe way past the number of persons that should have been on that trip. People forgetting that. In addition to that, okay, I mean, we take it for granted now because we're in the age of social media, but remember there were videos and recordings of his personal life that came to the fore, right? As I said earlier, perception is everything. People forgetting those things, right? And you want, especially in a post dealing with foreign personnel and foreign persons, you want somebody that has, or allegedly perceived to have, strong moral values and integrity, right? I do not know if this appointment is a distraction, by the ruling government, right? But we'll see. Time will tell everything, right?
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. Hey,
The-
Sonny, long time.
Yeah, long time. I listen every day, but I don't really call all the time. But I needed to call with this issue with Darrell Smith. As Richard always says, and he's a right 100% of the time, with the optics. The optics not opticing. It's not looking good. You're gonna now. There are two issues. The issue that we all know about with the ladies, the problems he have with his sticky hands. Trying to bridge. Right.
Please.
Okay. I
Right.
retract that.
Right.
Now, this individual, those behaviors, I always tell my children, is humans are creatures of habit, and it's learned behavior over a period of time. This individual will now have a diplomatic passport, which includes diplomatic immunity.
So let me ask you a question. Just to play devil's advocate, don't you think people can rehabilitate, be rehabilitated? You mentioned habits and developing of habits.
Yes, humans can change, but
do you believe in the principles of restorative justice? And I'm just talking for devil's advocate because you're proffering a perspective that habits are developed and as if they're lifelong, and some habits are. But don't you think that we believe in an era we talk about restorative justice for inmates and all that kind of thing? Can an ordinary citizen or somebody who had in high office show contrition and I'm not defending Darrell Smith here, I'm talking about in principle.
Yes, in a perfect society and everything, but remember this also has with this chemical reaction in your brain, dopamine, what it is, and I mean is learned behavior, and it is learned behavior, and it's and we are. Do you agree that humans are creatures of habit?
To some extent, but habits can be broken and new habits formed in the same way that you're proffering humans are. Yes, we are prone to routine and repetition of activity and stuff, but you can also be rehabilitated if you put through the right protocol. If you go for treatment,
I don't like the optics, because imagine, okay, let's say he changes, but let's say he goes to he takes on the job and everything goes well. But you are a company that has to deal with him, and your person to deal with him is a woman, and she just Googles his name for the first meeting just to know who she's dealing with. Do you think that she'll be 100% comfortable with him?
Very good point. That's a very good point.
That's a really, really good point.
Richard always the optics. The optics.
And that's what I thought of this morning when I heard about it, because it's a high profile position, and when people are meeting you, they Google your name.
Yeah, they Google the name, and it doesn't augur well with the image we, when I say we, Trinidad and Tobago, want to put out there. He is the person in charge. That will be the top dog, the boss. This is
no, he's not the person in charge. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Trade he's representing the country in a particular role.
Well, at that office, wherever his office will be, he's the person there. And also, this behavior requires you to be at some leadership level.
Agreed.
Now, you can't, okay, if I work in an office as the laborer, I don't have any leadership to sexually harass anybody.
But we're going back there.
Leadership. No, sorry.
You can't bring in that because that has not been proven.
Okay. Dr. Paul, I am biased because I have two daughters.
And I have no problem with that, but you're in a broadcast network.
Oh, my apologies.
We can't put stuff out there that has not been proven. You understand?
Yeah. I understand. I didn't mean to bring this my beloved station in.
If I don't stop it, we are liable.
Yes, I apologize. But do you understand my point?
I understand your point. You just can't bring in something that's to be proven. I understand the gravity of the allegations because they're very serious allegations, but we can't use that in the conversation so liberally.
Yeah, okay. But I still anyway, good program this morning. I don't really see how that will work to our benefit.
Okay. Thanks a lot, caller. You made some valid points.
Thanks,
yeah. That whole issue of people Googling you. You mean people Google me, Paul?
People, and he's right. You're going to a meeting with somebody in a private sector company or in a state official position in the US and in Canada. And they want anybody going into a meeting at that level will Google you, or they will get a brief from their office, but they will also do their own they should also do their own private research, and it will come up.
I'm just going to Google generally and see what happens.
Please do.
I'm pretending I'm a attaché, and I'm saying, oh, I'm having a meeting with this person from Trinidad. Is that a little island? I always thought Trinidad was part of Jamaica. Apparently, it's its own place. Anyway, I'm just going to do it. I wonder if it's like as big as Barbados. I love Barbados, but I've never heard of Trinidad. I always thought, is that the place with a lot of crime? All right, let me see.
Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. That last caller just now, I don't know if he was Big Guy, if that's the guy you always call Big Guy. But
I don't think so.
Sonny San Fernando.
Sonny San Fernando. I mean, he's serious with what he just said. Well, brother, I sorry. You say you have 2 daughters? Well, I sorry for the gentleman who might be coming to court your daughters because you painting people with the same paintbrush. What is he really saying? So, in other words, all the drug addicts out there, they can't rehabilitate? Really, sir? I believe I hear you. I mean, this thing is ludicrous. I mean, I don't know. Boy, sometimes, I mean, we had somebody who was a chief magistrate, Patrick Jagasa. He did wrong. He was sentenced to jail. And I'm seeing he's on a board, one of the Catholic boards, Fund Aid or whatever. And they give him a chance, so then they should have said, "No, boy, you was chief magistrate, you take a bribe, we can't hire you." Oh God, all you're real crazy in this country, And Paul, you worked with Wendell for years. I hear you say, Wendell go be quiet on this one with Daryl Smith. You really ain't know Wendell in truth. You work with Wendell so long. Wendell go be quiet on this? Nah. I'm sorry he wasn't there. I'm waiting to hear him on Wednesday. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you.
So I did do a Google. So what generally comes up is that Minister, Parliament, but the second search that comes up is Prime Minister reveals real reason for firing Daryl Smith. So that would be the second thing that came up if you're Googling him from a perspective of general Googling. But it says former member of Parliament, chairman, why choose Daryl Smith, export minister
It's
Daryl
always
Smith.
recording, Steve.
Yeah. So it just it doesn't immediately go to the allegations that the last caller referenced, but it does bring it up. I didn't know just now. Okay. So yeah.
All right.
That's what they would see.
All right, Digger Martin. Thank you.
I have no comment.
Good morning.
I don't know how people seeing it with strange eyes would interpret it. I don't know.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I was just calling to tell Mr. Far Rockaway to please get in contact with the opposition leader and ask her to dismiss David Lee, who is on $1 million bail for misbehavior in public office. Thank you.
I think she's perfected the art of sarcasm, whoever that is. Calm. The stableness of the voice was astounding. Well, very interesting.
You aspire to that level.
Oh yeah, that sarcasm was profound. I just found it was so classy, so dignified. So there's nobody in the waiting room, Steve.
So we're waiting to speak to Gideon Dixon, as we indicated before.
Yeah, he told me he's waiting.
Well, I don't know what waiting room he's waiting in, but it's not in the waiting room that I'm looking at here. Is he on Chrome? Well, I can only put on what I see here, and I'm not seeing anybody in the waiting room. Yeah, that was classy. That was the delivery, you know, the inflection, the intonation. I wish we could replay that. Oh my God. Love the callers. Oh my God. I would just like the caller from Far Rockaway. Oh, that made my morning. It was not the content, the delivery. She should be a broadcaster. Yes, Steve. No one is in the waiting room that I can see. Did you send him the right link? Maybe he should try again.
Yeah, so while we're waiting on the Gideon Dixon, can we take some other calls? Of course, we are holding pattern, waiting for the president of the Police Welfare Association to discuss the new unit as suggested by the Prime Minister to deal with rogue police officers. And I think rogue officers in other parts of the national security infrastructure. Am I right, Paul?
I get the impression well, he did mention customs and immigration and some other agencies. I don't know if he thinks that if the police would have remitted to that, but then the police could investigate anybody, you understand? So,
yep.
So it could be that he also intended that it be including those other national security or coastal intervention areas. Right, he's here now. Good morning, Mr. Dixon.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning, pal. How are you?
I'm one not to complain much. How are you all is important. More important, actually.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Thanks for having me.
So we wanted to have a conversation on the issue of the new unit as suggested by the Prime Minister, which reportedly is going to be paid more, according to what he said. It's going to be paid more, and it's going to look at the issue of rogue police officers and attacking that issue. And we think, we're not 100% sure, we think it also, he did mention other aspects of the security services that come under the Ministry of National Security, I should say. Departments that come under the Ministry of National Security, like immigration, customs officers, etc., etc. What's your take? What's the Welfare Association's take on this new unit that the Prime Minister is suggesting?
Well, firstly, the Welfare Association was privy to a 3 minutes and 44 seconds clipping of the Prime Minister's statement on Saturday. And all our officers, a great percentage would have reached out to myself and other executive members between Saturday and even up to this morning with a level of concern and disquiet, because even in the caption on different articles, police were bandied as criminals. I recall distinctly some years ago, a senior officer would have identified a grouping of senior officers as the worst set of officers he or she would have worked with at that point in time. And I think that it didn't sit nice with me, and I got a similar feeling with what would have been said on Saturday by the Prime Minister.
But let me just interject. You said that the Prime Minister's statement bandied police officers criminals. To be accurate, he said there are criminals in the police service, which is different to police officers are criminals.
Noted. And with that, we are saying that we are not a perfect organization. and we are consistently and continuously treating with the rogue elements, and the record would show. I have data I could present to you. I'm aware that we have taken at least 270 officers before the court within the last 5 years. The record is captured by our CAPA unit. There is room for improvement, and additionally, I would also want the record to show that we have within the organization vetted units. We have our own polygraph vetting units, which is not only used by the TPS but all other state entities when they have to vet persons. So we have our own polygraph unit. That is one. Two, the Professional Standards Bureau, who are synonymous with no other in the organization. They are paid more. They are vetted officers. The unit has been established since 2010. They continue to work assiduously. That unit in particular has a sanction strength and is operating with at least 30% of that sanction strength presently today. The unit also lack resources and lack a proper place to call home. We are saying we could address the issues facing that unit so they could continue to interrogate and work on the reports that they have against the potential rogue elements. We are also saying that we have our Anti-Corruption Investigation Bureau that is charged with the responsibility of investigating state entities. As you'll be aware, they would have gone to Tobago even as recent as yesterday and treating with matters of state. The resources are not fully there. The support is not fully there. There is also the need for technology to be part of our arsenal in terms of engaging and treating with what we have to do on a daily basis. These officers are already paid more than everyone else, and additionally, I want to put on record, since 2010, all officers entering the organization had to go through the rigor or the vigor of polygraph testing to enter the organization. Since 2010, in 2023, and if you are within the organization now and you have to move from general policing to any specialized section, you have to be polygraph tested. So you have all those things taking place.
So what you're saying is every officer since 2010 who has entered the TNT Police Service has been subject to the regular officers has been subject to polygraph testing already.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is there a randomized testing of officers who may have been there before, who there are suspicions about, or is that part of the protocol allowed, regulated?
No, it is not part of the protocol, allowed nor regulated, because it is not part of the policy. It is not part of the law, and I have never been polygraph tested. I would love to do one, to be quite honest, because I have no integrity issues, and there are several hundreds like myself, but we are in the minority as opposed to the persons who have entered the organization between 2010 to present. They are in the majority. So that being said, Mr. Richards and your team, the question that bemuses the association and most of the officers is the fact that we lack resources in the station districts where the murders are occurring. We are all aware that
what does that mean? Give us some details. You lack resources in terms of what? And we're not trying to put national security at a disadvantage here. But this is a very important point. You can't do your job if you don't have resources effectively.
Right. So I am not one who often go public to speak of the organization, because I believe whenever there is a problem, there's also a solution. So I will just use a simple one. So for instance, crime is occurring on the Nation Street. It is occurring in Sawa in the middle of the day. It is occurring in Port of Spain during peak hours. What happens is this. The persons who are charged to respond to those, or who should be out on a beat and comes from the station district, the numbers are not adequate to properly service the community. We need to realign our strengths in the organization, because based on best practice, we might have more police than is necessary for the size of the country. But the reality of the situation, we have too much sections. And with having too much sections already, and which was already identified by the manpower audit report, where millions of dollars was spent, we need to do things differently to get a different result. So we cannot be knee-jerk in our response to everything in terms of bringing a new section. So a new gender-based section, a new SVU section, a new sections upon sections. Where are the people coming from? We already operated 1,400 officers short based on the sanction strength of the organization. And then we are also operating where persons leave have been restricted for as long as it have been restricted. So you are seeing where we are adding layers of issues that would eventually impact the delivery of service to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I just want to leave it there. I don't want to go too deep into it, but we need to be more strategic in our approach. Right?
When you say you're 1,400 short, what you mean by that?
Right. So the sanction strength of the organization is 7,000, I think 686. I stand to be corrected by 1 or 200 there. And presently we have just over 6,000 plus officers. So you take 1,400 from that is what we have on record. And then you still not speak about persons who might fall ill or persons who are placed before the disciplinary process and are out of the organization, or persons who have gotten the opportunity to go and leave or be it study leave. So you have to be juggling that in terms of your resources. So the leadership in the organization has to manage the scarce resources and make it as effective as possible. But by and large, the crime or what the police is being judged on is murders. And murders are not operating in the specialist section. They are operating in the community, in the station district. So we need more officers in the station district to be able to confront, to peg back, to cause a level of discomfort to those who are set as repeat offenders to go out and commit their acts with impunity. We need the criminal justice system to play a greater role in terms of safeguarding the people. We need the penal system in terms of the prisons to do a better job of rehabilitating those who have gone behind their walls. We need the Coast Guard to protect our borders. We need the customs to do their part and treat with what comes through there and the immigration. We need everybody to be working. But we don't need the police to be looked at as the scapegoat when we have seen over the years a decay in the institutions in Trinidad and Tobago, which has now trickled down to all the communities. We need all the apparatus to work.
One of the things you said earlier that I need to get more information on, you said the Professional Standards Bureau, the PSB, has been operating with 30% staffing. Is that what you said?
Presently, that is the current situation in the Professional Standards Bureau, and they require a home at this point in time. Where they are is a derelict building which was once assigned to other state entity, and there isn't, and there is compromise.
What's the sanction strength of the Professional Standards Bureau?
They are required to have at least 60 persons. Presently, they have 22 persons.
And what are the resources that they're lacking from your knowledge?
So I speak to human resource. So we need to move them from 22 to 60 to optimize the strength. I speak to a building where their exhibits and the evidence that they would have gathered could be safely secured so it wouldn't have no contamination. They need to have a conference room for both briefing and debriefing. They need to have a witness interview room. They need to have the basics so that they would be even more effective, and they have been effective.
You mentioned technology also. What technology do you think is lacking?
Well, we have a cybercrime unit. I am saying we have a cybercrime unit. And the cybercrime unit is territorial. It speaks to the entire Trinidad and Tobago. The strength in our cybercrime unit is pathetic. I would not speak to it at this point in time here, because you can't do an interrogation of that to see where it is. We need to beef up our cybercrime unit and let them pay attention to those who are criminally inclined. And criminally inclined simply means those who be it looked at from the white collar lens and those from the blue collar lens. But we are judged more from those activities in the blue collar, the murders. We need, for those persons who go behind prison wall, calls or hits are being made from behind the prison walls. So how could it be so easy for communication out to the general public, and persons are living in fear? Persons right now cannot even enjoy their own liberty nor what they value in terms of their prized possession because someone else behind bars calling some shots. That not making much sense. We are in Trinidad today in the age of technology. Those calls should not be coming out. As a matter of fact, what's going in, we need to also treat what's going in. So the interrogation needs to be a holistic, multi-pronged approach to address some of our issues, as opposed to being a plaster and identifying what you perceive to be the weak link or what you perceive to be the soft target. Because, Paul, let's agree to disagree, or let's look at what is happening in society presently right now. There's a fallout in the school. There's a fallout in the community. There's a fallout in the health sector. There's a fallout. There has been total degeneration of institutional norms and values. And how do we address it? Is it by pointing fingers to those who, at the end of the day, must treat with or accept the responsibility to deal with law and lawlessness?
So you disagree with the Prime Minister's suggestion? Is that what you're saying officially?
I am saying officially that we have enough units that are vetted in the organization and are already paid more than everyone else. We need to strengthen those arms of the unit and let them work, but we also need to realign our strength in the organization so that we'll be more effective out on the ground where the crime is happening, particularly.
Well, then the natural, logical question is, do you think the service is being managed effectively?
And that's an excellent question. There's room for improvement. There's room for more collaboration, and we could see greater results.
But you're saying that the cyber unit and you're saying that the PSB are both under-resourced in different ways. You didn't get into particular with the cyber unit. You just mentioned it in passing. But if those two units are under-resourced, are there under-resourced parts of the police service? Because sometimes you read newspapers and you hear citizens, and as reported in the newspapers, you hear citizens saying that they have been reporting X, Y, Z to the police, and when they call the police, say they have no vehicle, which is something from 20 plus years ago. Is that still a situation that will arise, that citizens can call a police station and get that reply that we have no vehicle?
Right. So it's an interesting question, and I accept it wholeheartedly. So I just made a reference to our station districts and in the divisions, right? And we are woefully short in terms of the numbers there, particularly because common man, the average citizen, would call for a response to an activity of crime or social misfortune. Those stations have limited strength, limited police officers operating on a day-to-day basis because the officers are now in different sections. We had recently over 42 or thereabouts sections. So let us examine it for what it's worth. So with your strength spread so far and the public operating in the districts where it have limited strength, the response to, we don't have an officer at this point, we're waiting for someone to come in, whatever the case is. Those have been common or clarion calls over time. We need to manage those resources a little better and not be knee-jerk in our, so we don't need to bring out a section for everything. We don't need that.
Have you communicated these concerns to the Commissioner of Police?
We were supposed to have a meeting. Yes, Paul. We did it. We did it in January 12th. if my memory serves me correct, we met with the Commissioner of Police January 12, just prior to her being ascended into office. We met with her again in May of this year. No, we were supposed to have a meeting in May, did not occur. It occurred closer to around the 2nd of June. And we were supposed to have a meeting last week because we know that the Commissioner would have taken some of the steps in terms of the recommendation. So it's about having monthly meetings and evaluating what needs to be done. The meeting last week did not occur, particularly because of the Commissioner's engagement with other entities. But we feel that as a responsible association, accepting our role in the fight against crime and knowing that we have to put the officers' welfare at a pivotal area, issues impacting the officers need to be communicated to the Commissioner in a timely manner, a consistent manner, and there is room for improvement where the communication is, but it is a work that we are working with.
How concerned are you about this issue of taking into account what you have said about the Professional Standards Bureau and the effectiveness, the available manpower, 1/3 of the positions filled? How concerned are you about corrupt officers undermining the work of the legitimate good officers in the service?
Well, Paul, let me say this. I want the record to show that I, Gideon Ryan Dixon, do not and will never subscribe to having any corrupt officer working with me. My tenureship have shown that that has not been the scenario which should have occurred. Those who I have came into contact with over the years have gone on to become excellent officers, and those who you can who can be used as exemplars. Additionally, as the association president, which I cannot separate my tenureship, my 29 years tenureship from, we do not and will not condone corrupt officers at no point in time.
Are there mechanisms where officers can safely and confidentially make reports about suspicions of their colleagues involved in criminal activity or colluding with criminals or in corrupt practices? Are they effective and safe? And I stress safe because that has to be a part of the component of if I can call it whistleblowing within the service, to gather evidence on those who may be engaged in corrupt or criminal activities. Is there a safe mechanism?
There's an exceedingly safe mechanism with the Professional Standards Bureau, and there's also one with the Police Complaints Authority, which is an independent civilian body. So are you saying that those functionaries or those entities are not functioning? The record would say differently, and the public would also say differently. So it is not that they are not functioning. It is, are they adequately resourced to be able to be more effective? That is a question. And another question which follows is it because of they are not being adequately resourced and their effectiveness being somewhat restricted? Is it prudent to say that the crimes, or particularly the blue-collar crimes, the murders occurring in Nation Street, is it as a result of the fact that we have criminal police tipping off another, or who is the partner? Or is it that deep-rooted in terms of the act or the actions of the police officers? Is it that we have an entire police force that you cannot trust? Is it that you can't trust the 555 or the anonymous tip calls and all the mechanisms we have in terms of how we could treat with the issues that is before us on a day-to-day basis? I would say no. I would also say that we need to find resources to where we believe it matters the most, to be able to peg back the wanton impunity the criminals are engaging in on a day-to-day basis. We need to put officers in the station districts. We need to put officers in the hotspot areas. We also need to motivate the officers as leaders, both by statement and by action. You know, the record would show. Not too long ago, we had a historic event, COVID. We lost 39 officers. 39 officers. We won't even consider for a month pay or a recognition. Take nothing away from nobody else. Our leave was restricted for 2.5 years, 1,400 short. Nobody treats the police as how the police ought to be treated. We are treated as everyone else because we are not a class society where one is better than the next, or so we say. But then you expect us and judge us higher than you judge everybody else.
Do you have interface with the Minister of National Security, or do you go through the Commissioner for that?
Could you repeat?
Do you have meetings with the Minister of National Security to articulate your concerns, or would that be breaking the line of command?
It is not breaking line of command based on the structure of the organization. We have met with the minister on at least 2 occasions since he's in office, and we were given assurances that things will happen and could happen, and we are still in the want. We are still in the wait.
Gideon, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate your time and your contribution.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You enjoy the rest of the day.
All right. Thank you so much. All the best to you, Mr. Gideon Dixon. All right, gentlemen.
Have a wonderful day. Be safe.
Yeah, that's when we wrap it up on the Power Breakfast Show this morning at 8 o'clock. Of course, Steve will keep you company for the next hour. Yeah, so just reminding you, of course, that theater is on next Saturday and Sunday. What you're looking at, Miss for is the new play that we have on. It opens next week, Saturday, at the Central Bank Auditorium. Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. And, of course, tickets go on sale from Wednesday this week at our usual outlets. Of course, I will keep you posted. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. And remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Have a